Good afternoon. Welcome back to Pwtrns Daily Bread. When you see an open call for podcast guests, what's the first thing you should check? Are you responding to the topic they want to be spoken on, or do you actually know something about that particular topic? Notice what I didn't say. I didn't say, make sure you're a, quote, expert, unquote, because being a guest doesn't require a PhD, a certificate, or a stack of credentials. It requires something far more valuable and far more human. You're speaking from experience. You're speaking with understanding. You speak with a story that proves you have lived it and you know what you're talking about. That's what an expert is. There are two kinds of experts, Book experts, people who learn the material from studying it, and practical experts, people who learn the material from living it. Both have value. Both are equal. But only one can really tell you what it feels like, what it costs, what it taught them, and how it changed their lives. And that, my friends, is what we're talking about today on Pwtrns Daily Bread. So, what is an expert? What separates an ordinary person from an expert? And is that even the right type of question to ask anymore? Let's look through two lenses: expertise versus practical experience. Niels Bohr, B-O-H-R, says, and I quote, "An expert is a person who has made all the mistakes that can be made in a very narrow field." And we hear the word expert everywhere. It sounds official. It sounds important. It sounds like someone who stands on a higher rung of that ladder. But before any of us become whatever we are today, doctor, teacher, mechanic, parent, caregiver, neighbor, we all started the same way. Every single one of us began as a gooey, sticky, liquid little mess inside an egg. No titles, no credentials, no superiority, just potential. From the beginning, life takes us in different directions. Some people go to school for years and earn degrees. Some people learn by doing, by raising families, surviving hardship, building businesses, caring for others, or navigating systems that don't make sense until you've lived inside of them. And here's the truth that we all forget. Our credentials makes you trained. Experience makes you wise. And both kinds of knowledge matter. Experts know the theory. People who have lived experience knows the reality. One isn't better than the other. They're different forms of understanding. A book expert can't tell you what the manual says. They wrote it, so they can recite exactly what they wrote. However, a practical expert can tell you what actually happens when the manual meets real life, real world. A book expert can explain the system thoroughly. A practical expert can explain the human inside that system. And in today's world, employers are waking up to this truth. Have you noticed? The job market is changing, not just because of artificial intelligence, it's changing. I've heard complaints and statements from parents and educators, and of course, in the business world, there are a lot of complaints of what the outcoming and newly graduated students do not possess in their arsenal to get themselves that job, and more importantly, hang on to it. So what do people hear? You don't have enough experience. Most employers will ask you to have 3 to 5 years now. When I went out on the market, it was 1 to 3 years. And they tell you, go get some practical experience and then come back and reapply, and we'll see whether or not you're a better fit. Because companies have learned the hard way that a degree doesn't guarantee competence. A certificate doesn't guarantee wisdom. A diploma doesn't guarantee a work ethic. A transcript doesn't guarantee common sense. And it doesn't guarantee business common sense. And that's why industries are turning to the baby boomer generation, the workers who show up, know how to solve problems, have practical wisdom, have seen real consequences, have worked through real challenges. And they're not hiring boomers because of all their degrees. They're hiring boomers because of their, quote, many years of experience, practical reality. You don't need to have a title to wield authority. You don't need a degree to have wisdom. You don't need credentials to have something worth saying. You just need live and lived experience, the kind that teaches you what no classroom can ever do. According to Julius Caesar, experience is the teacher of all things. This has been Passionate World Talk Radio Network, Daily Bread. A reminder that wisdom doesn't come from titles. It comes from living. Carry what strengthens you. Set down what doesn't. And step forward with a clear mind and a steady heart. Until next time, this is Pwtrn. We are the voices of the people. United we roar.